Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This is HD StarCraft, and I'm here to bring you guys another StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm broadcast. And today we're going to be looking at another game with Root.Catz. He is going to be the blue Zerg player at the top left-hand corner of Star Station, and his opponent is going to be the red Terran player by the name of Lomo, and he is going to be in the bottom right-hand corner of Star Station, so they do have cross-spawn here. Now, just to clear up any confusion, this is not the same Lomo from StarCraft Brood War, not the Korean pro gamer, but rather this is the Lomo who used to be on Mouse Sports. I think he's retired now, and he's just now starting to pick up StarCraft 2 and play Heart of the Storm. I think his first name is Patrick, if I'm not mistaken. Don't recall what his last name is, but these are two very, very talented StarCraft 2 Heart of the Storm players, and I'm very interested to see how this is going to go down. Of course, it is the New Year's 2013. How are you guys all doing? What is your guys' New Year's resolution? Post it down in the comments down below. Would love to see. And personally, I haven't made any resolution for myself yet, but I'll probably think of something when the clock strikes midnight. Of course, I'm casting this right on New Year's Eve, so I haven't made up my mind quite yet, but regardless, I hope you guys all had a safe, fun, happy whatever you guys did, went out, stayed in, played StarCraft, whatever you did, played it, whatever, had a great time. And let's go ahead and get right into this. It's going to be a Terran versus Zerg, and it's going to be Lomo, once again, formerly of Team Mouse Sports, and of course, Catz of Team Root. And Catz is a very, very creative player. Whenever I get to watch him play, I'm always excited because he's always got something tricky up his sleeve. But that also forces players to stay true to him, because if he doesn't play tricky, if he decides to play standard, then you've got to also account for that. And if you over-prepare or over-defend for something that, you know, something uncommon or something unusual, then you can also fall behind if he decides to just play straight up. So we'll see what happens here, but the map is Star Station. It's a big, big map. 4 players spawn. You can see that both players are already sending out their scouting workers to figure out where their opponents are, and more importantly, figure out what their opening builds are so that they can contour their own strategies accordingly. And Lomo now does have SCV down at the natural, so it looks like he's going to go for a 1 barracks, gasless, fast expand. The drone has made its way inside. It doesn't see any other buildings besides just the barracks. He didn't actually get over to the mineral fields, so he couldn't get a count on the gas, were there any, but he did see the command center coming down on the way out. So at this point, Catz can pretty much say, all right, you're going for a 1 Rax gasless FE. Anything else would have taken that natural expansion a little bit longer, and he's going to be able to get that drone out of there and make it hopefully back home safely, as it's already scurrying its way over through the middle. 1 SCV is in the background as well of Catz's main base. There is a spawning pool back there. We do see the SCV trying to actually block the minerals. There is a trick you can actually do with your worker. If you only 1 worker can mine a mineral patch at any time, so you can actually have an SCV, a probe, or a drone parked back here. You can click on the mineral patch and prevent anything from being mined, and then as soon as the SCV is about to actually pick up those 5 minerals, you cancel the command, and then you go back and start again. So you basically permanently assume control of that mineral patch, and you never let your opponent actually mine out of it. It actually requires a lot of skill, because you got to know the timing, and you got to be really focused intently on it, so it does require quite a bit of micro. But I've seen some really top level Koreans do that, and it can usually screw with your opponent a little bit. At least it might even force him to pull workers off the line just to get rid of that worker. But we didn't see any of that. Lomo actually did steal the 5 minerals permanently, which also, it doesn't really hurt that much, but you know, it's still kind of annoying. And he's going to go ahead and park himself over at the topmost Xel'Naga tower to get some vision over what is going on that side of the map. We do have a squad of Marines here moving to the right-hand side. Not sure what they're looking for. Probably just Overlords. And a lot of times, careless Zergs will send their Overlord through this area and then park it behind. You can see, though, Catz was very careful. He took it around the side of the map, and then he actually went this way right here. So he was able to cross over just before the Marines were checking. So that was very good timing by Catz, and maybe just a little bit late by Lomo there. He had an opportunity to pick off a free Overlord. Now it's actually blimping its way into the main base, and he could get back here and take it out, but not before those buildings are going to be scouted. And we do have a reactor factory here, so possibly going to see mech play from Lomo. We'll see. He does have 2 gases. It depends on what units he decides to build, and of course what building he follows this up with. Does he make another factory, or does he make another barracks, or does he decide to go to the sky and go for a quick starport? it'll be his, obviously, choice. 4 Marines now coming back, and they will be able to get rid of this Overlord before the Overlord can see what that next building will be, and that actually puts Catz down in supply. I'm surprised he parked the Overlord over the main, knowing that, hey, this is a sacrificial Overlord, this is bound to die, but he didn't have an extra Overlord ready to clear the capacity when that happens, so he is blocked by a little bit right now, but it's about to clear, so it's not a terrible loss, but still a little bit, I think, of a mistake right there by Catz, but it's okay, as a couple of Hellions now are in the front of his base, going to try to, of course, prevent the creep tumors from getting too far out there, is able to blow up one, and the Queens are going to pull back, not too sure why. They're usually pretty tough against fire, and Catz should actually push out with these Queens to get a little bit of damage. Obviously, Queens aren't going to take down a Hellion, but they will be able to assert themselves and push those Hellions away so that the creep tumors can get a little bit further. Now, we do have Widow Mines coming out of the factory here, so Lomo is going for at least a few Widow Mines. We don't see the next building yet. Actually, there is a starport. There it is. So I was wondering, where is that third building? And he did decide to go for sky play here, and he's going right into starport. Of course, remember, the Caduceus reactor requires the fusion core now, so when the fusion core is available in this upgrade is researched, the healing beam turns blue, so it is a very noticeable upgrade, and it makes the medevacs almost twice as effective. Now, these Queens got to be careful. One Widow Mine shot will not kill a Queen, but it will severely weaken it, to the point where these Hellions now become a threat, and all of a sudden, Queens are not very effective against fire, and it looks like Lomo is able to get one Queen kill. Now, of course, the Widow Mines remain alive, and with their Sentinel missiles now recharging, they can replant themselves into a better position. Of course, that will force an Overseer to come out. The Overseer is not in danger yet because the Widow Mines take some time to recharge, but it's a good idea to keep these mines alive. Oh, very close right there. As it was getting off creep, I thought it was going to be able to make it out of the way, but Catz with the vision on the high ground over that ramp is able to take out that mine, and that's very good because anytime you can get rid of those early game mines, it really gives you that sense of security. But it looks like he pushed out a little bit too far here, and the Hellions are just going to squeak on by right back into the main base, and now these drones are in a lot of trouble. Drones are going to start to go down here, and Catz he's got to get his roaches back here to defend. It doesn't look like he's bothering to even maneuver his drones out of the way. Already 13 drones have gone down as these 4 Hellions are just parked in the background, picking off drones like it was Christmas Day. 16 drones have gone down already, and that's going to put Catz's count of income down to only 44 workers, which is not good. Obviously, as a Zerg at this point, you want to be close to 75, if not already at 75, or even more, and now he's down to basically where the Terran is at, and that doesn't count the mules that the Terran has available as well, as Lomo now is adding on a 3rd command center. He does have double engineering bay with a lot more barracks, so it looks like he wants to go with bio-based play here, which is obviously totally fine. Back in the days in Wings of Liberty, that was how Terran played against Zerg. Nowadays, if you play bio, once you get up to Fusion Core, you can also research the Caduceus reactor that I was talking about before, and that gives the bio even more longevity. It's just that much better. So I do think bio is perfectly fine, and of course you can augment it with mech play as well. We do have a couple of Cloak Banshees coming in here, although the Overseer is already there from before because of the Widow Mines. So we'll see if Catz can get some Queens over here to deal with the double Banshee. They have already killed off a couple of buildings and units, but the hatchery now is under attack. I'm not too sure where the Queens are. It looks like he's going to use his Infestors and fungals the Banshee, which ends up revealing them as well. And a second fungal growth comes down at the same time, so that's going to chain fungal these Banshees. No way they're going to be able to get out of here. And Catz very nicely handles that situation. You know, 2 Banshees, the starport, the cloak, all of that was pretty heavily researched. You can see the spending here showing that the Terran has been spending quite a bit in technology, obviously so has the Zerg. But really, that starport and those 2 Banshees didn't do much at all. It was pretty much worthless. So that was great for Catz because that makes him feel a little bit more secure. He's going to be able to basically sit back and macro now. You'll note he hasn't done anything unique or interesting to the point of, you know, the style that he usually plays, which is, you know, maybe quad hatchery or maybe proxy hatchery or something like that. He's actually played this game very standard. He is going for Roach Hydra, and Roach Hydras are pretty damn good too. I feel like they're better against Protoss than they are against Terran because they're kind of a squishy unit, and Terran has a lot, like Marines and tanks at range. They can plow through Hydras pretty easily. So can Widow Mines, so do Hellbats. I don't know if Hydras are the answer against Terran, but they are somewhat required sometimes when you're dealing with a Terran that is able to easily switch between mech on the ground and mech in the air. So you do have to play it kind of carefully, and I think Hydras have their place, but we'll see how it goes in this matchup against Lomo, because he's going for mostly bio right now, and I haven't really seen pure, you know, Roach Hydra Infestor against bio. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But that is a lot of bio forces on the ground now. Currently at 1-1, 2-2 is on the way. 2-2 also is on the way for the Zerg player. Squad of Marines now being sent into the middle of the map to pick off a couple of creep tumors as a comsat comes down to assist them. But there are Roaches and Hydras here, so those Marines have got to get out of there, and immediately running out under the effects of stim, so they're going to be able to get out A-OK, and Catz is going to take control of his own Xel'Naga tower, as now both players are on 3 bases apiece. Let's take a look at some of these tabs here. APM, pretty average for players of this level. Catz typically hovers around 200, so he's a little bit lower than what I'm used to seeing him at. We can see that the workers loss so far has heavily favored the Terran player, mostly because of the Hellions that he was able to get in early on in this game, but the income has evened out. The Zerg is now at 80 drones, so he's been able to basically recuperate from any drone losses he suffered in the early game. And the supplies are quite close as well, 172 to 170. Widow Mines now planting down underground. Now, of course, these Overseers do have to be careful because it can be picked off by Widow Mines, although they only do 125 damage now, so it's not enough to the point that it will kill off an Overseer, and the Overseer will be able to detect the Widow Mines across the ground here for this Roach Hydra army to take out. So, oh, there we go. So the mine actually does detonate. It depends, really. Sometimes if the units get close enough, then they will activate. Sometimes if they don't, they won't. It looks like Catz there used a changeling maybe to proc the Widow Mine there. That was pretty clever. Although he might have dropped 2 changelings there. That's why 1 is still alive. I'm not too sure what happened over there because I didn't actually see it. But it does look like Lomo now is adding on over to Factory. He is going to be transitioning into getting as many tanks as possible to back up the bio, which is what you typically see in Wings of Liberty. Does he have a fusion core yet to go ahead and research the very, very good upgrade, the Caduceus reactor? It looks like he does. He does have a fusion core, so let's go ahead and take a look at these medevacs. Currently healing only 3 life per 1 energy, so they haven't researched that upgrade yet. It would be nice to see Lomo swap off this starport and get a tech lab on it to complete that upgrade. Earlier he had a tech lab over here, but he moved it over, so very, very important here that he gets that upgrade as soon as possible to bolster his bio, and it looks like now he is getting the Caduceus reactor. It was on a different starport, so his medevacs are going to become very viable here in about a minute or so. That upgrade doesn't take very long to research, and when that upgrade finishes, along with +3, I'd like to see +2 armor for the bio as well. This bio army is going to be extremely difficult to stop. I feel like one of the answers though to defeating bio with the heavy medevac healing is to actually go for Banelings or for Vipers. The blinding cloud, it pretty much neuters Marines pretty heavily. Fungal growth also does the same, but because fungal growth takes time, the medevacs can heal that up. Banelings are an explosive force, and they're so fast that a lot of times medevacs won't be able to heal it in time. So either Banelings or Vipers are good answers, I think, to combating bio with the new upgrades. But we'll see how this plays out. It does look like we have some Vipers on the field, and Vipers using the blinding cloud, which shuts down these siege tanks, forcing Lomo to unsiege. But it's going to be too late. It looks like he's going to lose a lot of tanks here, trying to position himself, but all these blinding clouds are coming down along with the fungal growth. This is a great position for Catz, but does he have enough forces to actually beat this army? He needs to throw down another blinding cloud. He has enough energy to do so now, yanking in medevacs. One of the medevacs was loading up to get the forces out of there, but now it's going to use emergency boosters to get out of the way. It's so fast when they go into emergency thrusters, and they're able to get out of there very, very quickly. It looked like Catz right there was going to win that fight, but then all of a sudden the Terran said, nope, I've got a get out of jail free card, I've got lifeboats, and I'm getting out of here. So he was able to evacuate some of his forces. It wasn't a complete loss there, and now because he's back at home, he should be able to counter any type of an attack that Catz is looking to mount. So that was a pretty good engagement on both sides. We do have some Brood Infestors here from Catz. Of course, this is his signature play. He sure does love him some Brood Infestors. We'll see if he's gonna go ahead and launch them out here. I wonder how he got those over. He must have just snuck it this way because there are missile turrets on the left-hand side. But regardless, we'll see if he shoots out some infested Terrans or if he pops up for a fungal growth. usually you want to go for Infested Terrans, and he's got so much energy banked up on those 2 Infestors. He might just be waiting until the army is positioned away from this area so that he can ensure that he kills off as many workers as possible and maybe even takes out that planetary fortress. We do have a drop going on the left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, does Catz notice that that drop is coming? Right now he is trying to suck energy out of these hatcheries so that he gets enough for the next big play. Oh, that Spore Crawler takes out the medevac. Absolutely crucial right there. Lomo was not able to get any damage or any units really unloaded before that Spore Crawler took out the medevac, so only really 3 troops got out, and Catz gotta be pretty happy about that. And now the Infestors have revealed themselves. They are gonna double fungal and take out about 5 SCVs. They've got more energy for more fungals, but he fungled really quickly there. And with the medevac's healing beams coming out, the blue healing beams with Caduceus Reactor, there's just no way those troops are going to go down to fungal growth. And that is where I feel like, yeah, fungal is still very good, but medevacs that heal pretty much twice as fast as they did before, they kind of shut down a lot of fungal growth, so they can heal that back up very quickly. And that means that I don't know if Infestors really are as good as they were before with all the nerfs they've gotten and with the new upgrades that Terran has. I definitely feel like you've got to rely more heavily on a tier 3 spellcaster like the Viper. So we'll see how this plays out. Catz right now does, actually, excuse me, Lomo right now does have a lot of mech forces on the field. He's even went up to battle cruisers. Now remember, the weapons upgrade is no longer shared on the armory, but the armor upgrade is. So you can somewhat switch easily between the 2 techs, not as easily as before, but we do have a very nice composition here from Lomo with Bio, Caduceus Reactor, Medevacs, Tanks, and Thors. And really, Catz has got Roach, Hydra, Viper, Infestor. So this is tier 2, tier 3 army mixed in. 1 command center is going to go down here, and Catz should probably pull out. I don't know if he wants to stick around. He does shoot out 1 fungal growth. He picks off an SCV. SCV was like, hey guys, come on, can I join you? And Catz says, no way, man. So he's going to take out that worker, and I don't think he's going to commit here because of the tanks and the great setup that Lomo's already got. Not to mention a planetary fortress on the high ground too. Probably not the best idea, but I do like how Lomo is setting up planetary fortresses. Actually, he's building command centers at all the key choke points here. Very, very smart. Anywhere where the Zerg wants to come in through the ground, guess what? He's going to have to blow through a planetary fortress or 2, and that's going to make Catz think twice about committing to an actual attack, because obviously PFs, plus if you've got SCVs around them to repair, it's very hard to take down. So very, very smart there, I feel like. But at the same time, I do believe a Blinding Cloud will shut down a planetary fortress. So do keep in mind that he has that option available to him. And it looks like we're going to go in for another engagement here. Blinding Cloud's coming in, but there are no Marines really there for that Blinding Cloud to be effective upon. And it looks like Catz is probably not going to be able to attack here, but he might use Abduct, and he yanks the tanks a little bit closer, causing them to be susceptible to the Roaches and Hydras. And now the Cloud's coming down, but the Medevac's just healing so well with the Caduceus Reactor. Fungal growth just doesn't do any damage anymore. And I think Catz is going to have to pull back here. He's losing a lot of his forces, doesn't have the high ground, not the best concave. These drones are actually trying to distance mine, just hoping that the forces are going to create enough of an umbrella for them to be safe. But then the army goes down, so now these drones are going to have to basically get out of there. Meanwhile, another hatchery over here is going to go down as it's fighting for real estate against that command center. Lomo going to make a push here as he wins that battle and is going to hope to take the treasure as well. He takes out 2 hatcheries. 2 hatcheries right there, the macro hatch and the hatch at the 9 o'clock position. Eggs now under attack as well, and eggs, while they're pretty sturdy, not against this type of army, and a lot of expensive units are going down. It looks like there were a lot of ultras coming out of there, so I don't know how many got canceled at the end of the day. We do have a Banshee at the left-hand side, also looking to shut down a hatchery. In fact, there are now 3 hatcheries under attack at various points of the map. Catz has got to scramble forces in the proper position to shut that down. He does have a lot of ultralisks out right now, and is hoping to make a push through here, but you know, he doesn't really have that much anti-air, although it looks like he had just enough Infested Terrans and Hydras to take out that lone battlecruiser. And now his army is looking to make a counterattack of his own, but you know, Lomo's forces, most of them pulled back. They retreated. They're still very healthy. Of course, that is in great part due to the medevacs. They're going to be able to get out there and protect this planetary fortress, I feel like, although maybe not. That's a lot of ultras, so maybe the PF will die, but these forces are not going to get out of here. No way, Jose. And Catz is actually going to lose a couple of ultras and hydras here. He should have went in at the same time, but that was a very hard maneuver to pull off given, you know, the stress he's under right now. A lot of hatcheries under attack on the map. It looks like he is going to go in here though. His ultras are bleeding red, And yeah, most of them gonna go down as Lomo just pulls back to this corner and is able to use his tanks as a pseudo wall to keep his forces, keep the ultras away from his forces. And it looks like this hatchery does go down. Another CC is coming up. One command center going to be landed here as well. And the hatchery up here is under attack by a Hellion. Not to mention the Banshee over here took out the hatchery that was morphing as well. So Catz is in a lot of trouble right now, ladies and gentlemen. He does have a decent bank, so does the Terran player. But if he doesn't have a lot of hatcheries, I mean, you know, as a Zerg, you need a lot of hatcheries to fight against a Terran. So Lomo is just doing a fantastic job of shutting down the hatcheries of the Zerg player, but he gets a lot of medevacs fungled there, and those medevacs are absolutely key. About 4 or 5 medevacs maybe they're going down. One medevac in the red is at 5 HP. And without the medevac support for his bio, all of a sudden the bio looks a lot weaker when dealing with the Ultralists. Of course, remember now guys, the Ultras do a raw amount of damage to any force in front of them. It doesn't matter what type of unit they're fighting. They do the same damage to light, to armored, it doesn't matter. So absolutely killer if those medevacs go down. But it does look like Lomo still has a lot of medevacs up in the sky. He is now going to be making a push here through the top side. It looks like he is going to be able to take out another hatchery. Catz is in so much trouble. He's trying to run up here with all of his ultras. That is a lot of Ultralisks. 5-2 ultras just running through the ground army, and Lomo is in full retreat. It looks like Viper's even abducting random capital units over to the left, and Catz winning decisively there, but at the same time Lomo sending a squad of units to the 9 o'clock and once again shutting down another hatchery. So Catz, while he wins the big battles, he cannot afford to keep playing this type of style if he doesn't get any hatcheries up. Right now he's trying to distance mine. He's desperately hanging on by a thread, and he's running out of bank. That's the biggest problem of on. I don't know if he should attack in here. This is where the Terran is best in this position. Neural Parasite comes out on the BC, and the BC basically relieved of duty, but then it comes back under control of the Terran player, and it does look like Catz is really going to commit to this. He might actually have enough to maybe take out an orbital command, but is it worth it? That's the question. A couple of Broodlords and Roaches coming around to the left-hand side here, looking to shut down this planetary fortress. Pretty wise play by Catz as he's attacking with the ground on the right, distracts most of the Terran army and sends the Broodlords over to the left. But he's run out of fuel really on this eastern side of Star Station, and now he's gonna have to hope these Broodlords have enough time to dish out the damage they need to do. Unfortunately, Changelings can't really do anything to help out, so it's up to these 4 Broodlords to take out this planetary fortress. But a PF is actually pretty well suited to killing off Broodlords, as it takes only the damage from the attack, but not from the Broodlings, because it's able to one-shot them and take them out pretty quickly. That looks like that command center did land down to get out of the way of the Corruptors, and now the Thors are coming back. Will they switch over to high impact payload, which allows them to do a lot more damage against these Broodlords? It doesn't look like it, as the Broodlord's microing pretty well there. Very rarely do you see Broodlord micro, but in that situation against a slow unit like the Thor, it does end up working out. Now these battlecruisers may be thinking about giving chase, but it looks like they're going to fall back just in case there was a Corruptor army nearby, and Lomo is able to keep this planetary fortress under control. 36 Harvesters for the Terran compared to 56 for the Zerg. We have another drop play over on the right hand side. It looks like it was able to kill off maybe an Overlord or 2. The Zerg Catz is really only mining out of 1 or 2 bases about. He's run out of money, but you know what? The Terran is not that high in supply. He's only ahead by about 15 or so supply, but he is mining, I think, well, he could potentially be mining out of a lot more bases. Right now he's only really mining out of 1, so it is a very, very close game. I would give the edge to Lomo right now, but you know, it just comes down to the next battle. And the one thing I feel like Catz is in trouble with, he makes so many ultras that he runs the risk of getting overran by battlecruisers, because battlecruisers are obviously an air-based unit. Ultras cannot attack them, so there's one risk that he has to play with. I'd like to see him maybe make, I don't know if it's going to be Infestors for Neural Parasite or Corruptors, but it looks like his Greater Spire is under attack, and the Greater Spire goes down, so no more Broodlord, says Lomo. There is another Spire in the background. Could he go and pick off that one as well? Looks like right now he's on the Evo Chamber. Meanwhile, big attack in the middle of the map. Fungal Growth coming down as well, but these forces are so slow off creep. It looks like emergency transfuses coming out to keep them alive. Battlecruiser Yamato's the Broodlords on the way out as well, and these Ultras have got to retreat. There's only 2 medevacs here. These forces are actually very, very weak, and there isn't enough energy on the remaining medevacs to heal them up. If the Ultras decided to go in right now, they could probably cleave down these forces with absolute ease, and they're coming in right now, but the hatchery has already gone down. Look at how fast the Marines and the Marauders fall, 1 or 2 cleaves apiece. But the hatchery has gone down already, and what about the Sky Terran still in the air? Those battlecruisers really not facing any threat at all. And even if Corruptors come out, there's already a few Vikings too. So the BCs, the transition into the Sky Terran ends up working out quite well. Not too sure where these two brothers were going. A couple of infestors going underground, maybe looking to do a little bit of a backside snipe, but they decided to think about that twice, and they are pulling out. 160 supply now to 102. Both players running quite low on money. But I do feel like the edge has got to go to Lomo because he's got a bigger army. He's got battlecruisers in the sky. Cat's almost running out of ideas right now. Says, I'm just going to make queens to try to counter battlecruisers, and obviously queens aren't very good against BCs. Maybe he's making queens because he just needs queens for transfuse. I'm not too sure, but at this point, wow, he is really in a lot of trouble. You'll note too, he never researched Zergling speed this entire game. These are slow Zerglings running across the map, and they finally get over to this command center. It looks like do they have adrenal glands? So they don't, but they are going to be able to take out this orbital command, so not too shabby right there. Meanwhile, another attack at the 12 o'clock position takes out his hatchery, and it looks like Lomo here securing a victory against Catz. So incredible. I thought for sure Catz maybe was going to get the edge here, but looks like Lomo not doing too bad for himself. European Terran, and you know, formerly of Mouse Sports, doing a great job here, playing Heart of the Swarm. And at this point, it looks pretty bleak, I think, for Catz. He has a couple of burrowed infestors that are trying to go around the map. This is where it's almost like his last signature play. He tries to come back in the game with some infestor play, but unfortunately, he's out of energy. So he really doesn't have anything to do with these two infestors. He's distance mining on the map right now to get any type of income possible. He's got maybe one last-ditch attempt here with these infestors and his remaining roaches and hydras. But this army is just so big by Lomo. What is he going to do? There's another drop coming around the back. The Ultralisk Cavern is in danger here, and it looks like it probably will go down. Couple last fungal growths coming out, but the battlecruisers proving to be too strong of a unit. Yamato cannons and laser batteries raining down from the skies, and Catz calls GG, well played. So Catz has left the game. He was defeated, and Lomo was victorious. Really good game there. That was a 37-minute StarCraft 2 matchup to hail in the New Year's 2013. I hope you guys enjoyed, and for now, this is HD StarCraft, and I am signing out.